Hey there, my friend. It's Dave Wood here, and I'm talking to you from my beautiful home in the mountains in Escazú, Costa Rica. And as you absorb what you're listening to and watching right now, allowing my words to sink in as you're enjoying the content in this video, you're going to become more powerful, more resilient, and you'll be able to approach your business and life in new ways. I want you to think about the stage of life that you're in right now. What problems are you facing, both in your life personally and also in your business? And also, how are you trying to resolve them, or are you just trying to validate the fact that they're there and make excuses for them? And are the problems that you have really problems at all? Or just solutions that you're creating now with a focused and intent mind? You see, procrastination and also excuses are really just a byproduct of an unclear strategy and dissonant beliefs that are out of alignment with the beautiful things that you actually have the capacity to do. People who talk about reasons why they can't do things are producing more things that they can't do through the inborn creative power of their words as a human being. Why can't they invest in their education? Why can't they post that blog post? Or why can't they go place that paid ad? A lot of the time, they're just afraid to take a leap of faith, or maybe they're simply lacking the knowledge and desire that will allow them to create entrepreneurial resourcefulness and break through all the barriers in their path. Perhaps they don't yet believe in their inborn power to become great, and therefore they're not willing to declare to the universe and the people around them and those whose destinies can align, saying, "It will be done, that's it, period." And if that's you, it's not your fault. Yet simultaneously, right now, it is your responsibility to change as you're now becoming aware of the new things that you can actually do in your life. See, the truth is, in your business, you're going to experience a bunch of different internal and external conflicts that may arise at different points and different stages in your business. Internal conflicts can produce a procrastinative effect that results in lack of action and lack of a clear and focused business strategy. Most of these are actually rooted in fear, which fear is really nothing more than your imagination producing negative imagery of the future combined with a state that's not positive. I've actually heard the word fear broken down into synonyms, that is, false evidence appearing real. And the truth is, fear is nothing more than your imagination. See, after a while, you'll just get over this small stuff as you realize that problems are actually just a normal part of life, and really nothing more than things that appear that require creative thinking, masterminding, and resources to solve. See, you'll begin just writing that email. You'll begin just placing that ad. You'll begin just posting those blog posts that you've been procrastinating before. And you'll suddenly be surprised by how effective it is and how much of a flow you're getting into as you learn to tap into the insanely beautiful and creative soul that's you. A short time later, a short time in the future, maybe even after you're done watching this video, you may even start experience what I call real entrepreneur problems and begin tackling those with faith and discipline and unbounding, resourceful, creative thinking that tears through mountains of problems as if they're nothing more than a passing wind as it goes by and it moves off into the distance, fading into the black. Because as the saying goes, if you have faith as a grain of a mustard seed, so shall it be. As you align with the creative genius inside of you and you learn to do new and beautiful, powerful things. See, I want to share with you a few creative problem-solving strategies to overcome common obstacles that will make your life and your business better and easier. And I also want to share with you how you can effectively deal with these problems as they appear in your life instead of doing what most people do, which is getting up because of self-imposed frustration. And instead of doing what most people do, you can actually choose to give up that belief that you're less than capable, less than beautiful, and less than divine. As you're absorbing these ideas today and watching this episode now with the entirety of your five sensory attention, I want to hear your feedback and thoughts in the comments as your mind suddenly blocks out all distractions in the background and you find that all noises, other than perhaps my voice and the music in this video, simply fade off into the distance as you learn new things in this episode. See, our team chooses the best comment on each daily shortcut episode and rewards you a free book to help support the concepts you learn, because as the saying goes, leaders are readers, aren't they? And aren't you? Comment below and you could actually win, but be thoughtful on what you actually learned, because usually we give that to the most thoughtful comment below. Now let's get into these real entrepreneur problems. Number one problem that entrepreneurs have is actually committing too much. Overcommitting, overpromising, under-delivering. At first, what happens is maybe you just want to make money, so you find yourself promising things that aren't actually possible to deliver when you promise them. I know so many people with this issue. Perhaps you don't know, you don't even care perhaps when you're thinking about the sales strategy, like how or when you deliver what you're selling, and you use the excuse that you're just testing a marketing campaign, thinking that you'll find a way to deliver it later if it works for you. Folks, business doesn't work like that, and neither should any marketer act like that anymore. If you're still doing that, you need to stop it, because it'll tear your life apart if you continue. Overcoming this problem is easy, but the problem itself begins with simple behavior that can compound as your life gets bigger. It might actually start with whatever hits your inbox. Maybe you get in multiple opportunities because someone creates some sort of a frame, which is just a way of describing a situation, as if it's good for you to get in lots of things, so you buy more things from them because they can't build teams. And the reality is you don't need those things to profit. And if you work the various businesses a little bit with all your direction scattered everywhere because your attention isn't focused, it can't actually work. So the reality is you're going to fail if you do that and then end up joining something else unless you're really experienced or have a huge list. Now, is that a pattern that could continue to produce results for new people? No. You got to pick something and make it work, building systems to over-deliver what you're promising. As you're under-promising, as you build one business system, you have the option, if you choose, to proceed to build the next as you create new successes everywhere with lots of incomes, yet you only do one thing at a time. If you really want this, you're going to make money, and you can create an income with the unbounding resourcefulness that you had when you were a child learning to walk and speak. As you fall down and hit your head over and over again, what do? You simply get back up, feeling a tad bit bruised. A second later, you're smiling, and you take another step and then fall over again, and then you do it again and you get back up, bruising yourself and bumping your head into everything. If you have kids, you know what I'm talking about. By downloading your bonuses now, you're actually taking a step, and by just continuing when you run into obstacles, you're going to be following along in a pattern that you've actually used before to learn to walk. See, the smartest thing that you could do right now in your business is focused on one single plan until that single plan has covered your needs and has helped you actually step into a little bit better future, and you've systematized everything, because as you've been building your business, you've built systems around all of your core processes, which then allows you to take your energy and move it into a new process and scale your vision into new landscapes of wealth and freedom. When you've made enough money to support yourself, and that continues coming in every month before you even begin to work, that's what actually residual income is, which shouldn't be called that. It should be called something more like leveraged continuing income. I'll get into that in a later episode. But when you do that, if you're building a business online, now you're ready to add another stream of income if you desire to do it, if your business systems are supporting that existing income. At that point, things might change for you, because it can take on a whole new dimension, and you may simply want to continue focusing in one direction and multiply your wealth and success in new ways through the success of others, and you may actually want to do different income streams. You might actually start thinking from a different perspective because you don't need anything and you're just dreaming of a new and better future. It's a totally different place to be. I actually got there the first time. It was around 2011, early in the year. Maybe at that point you'll have lots of new ideas because your mind is freed from daily grind, and what happens is the problem then becomes building systems to support all those ideas and focusing on one at a time to support the compounding and momentum of each idea, making it successful before you proceed to something new. If you focus like that, your life will be totally different. See, each time you make a commitment and you fail to keep that commitment, what you're doing is you're showing yourself and reinforcing a pattern, and you're basically saying to yourself, you're not going to follow through. Does that make sense? So you let yourself down. Maybe it lets other people's down, like the customers you overpromised to. And maybe it leaves you feeling burnt out, frustrated, and then you start blaming that on other people rather than acknowledging it's a cycle. See, it's not other people, it's simply you and your beautiful creative power aimed in the wrong direction, creating a destructive cycle, right? That's actually you creating that cycle. If this cycle continues for too long, it's going to get harder and harder to snap out of and to just believe that it's something that can just disappear. But you can snap out of it at any time by simply creating something new and focusing 100% of your energy on one thing until its completion. Number 2 problem that entrepreneurs, and especially in the home business industry, they run into this all the time. This is a big problem for people, is this. It's doing everything yourself. I want to do everything myself, right? My way or the highway. What I do is I like to hire and also work with a lot of smart people. And that's so I can focus my energy and my strengths and make up for my weaknesses through systems and also other great and talented minds around me, because other people can do things I just can't do. Whether it's emails, daily shortcut episodes, other content, hangouts, sales videos, managing teams, the list of stuff that my company does go on and on. If you want to list all of the things that you could say I'm responsible for, which I am. And this has been exaggerated since I also took on the role, in addition to being the owner, I'm also the CEO, which actually, it's a little bit spelled wrong, but it's the chief executive badass. But I did that earlier this year, and the reality is that it's going to take me another few months before I get efficient systems in place everywhere in my business, in my company. So what I'll be able to do after that point is focus on areas that are entirely my strengths. So all of my energy is aligned in things that I should be doing, and I've got good people doing those other things. See, there's a lot of tasks that come with running a company that's done a couple $100 million in sales, yet I don't need to do them all, and I don't want to do them all either, and it's not the smartest way to build a business. To begin with, you have to do everything yourself if you lack resources and influence to rally around you great minds. And that's okay if you're in a place like that to start. And you can actually still do this by partnering with people like us, for example, that do those things that you don't have time to do, such as building business systems. Maybe you have to write your own content, though. Maybe you have to add your own personality to the emails. Maybe you have to go out there and participate in the selling process and build your own personal system around our business systems one at a time while you're learning and overcoming obstacles and making money simultaneously as you're part of our system. See, if I could travel back in time, what I would tell myself is, I would tell myself really early on to hire my first assistant immediately after I had my first $30,000 a month. I actually could have done it easier, but I got to $30,000 a month really quick because I was full-time. But something inside of me, inside my own beliefs and values, it actually prevented me from making that leap until nearly 2 years later. I was making that much for 2 years. It was doing it all myself with no help because I thought I didn't need others and I thought I could do it alone. Yet, can one man do the work of a collection of great minds that are all aimed in single direction? No, I think not. And even more, as you're becoming more wealthy, influential, and powerful and free, I find that I personally don't have any desire to do it alone because people are what makes systems and businesses fun, and it's what makes businesses and systems worth living for because it's for the impact that you have on your customers, your affiliate, your market, and your list. It's for the impact that you have on the world that you're going to continue doing great things. If you're making $1,000 to $3,000 a month from blogging, for example, you could actually hire an assistant right then in the Philippines or in India or in a different country for $400, $500, $600 a month. And they'll work 8 hours a day and be happy doing that, promoting things, doing mechanical tasks, and it'll free up hours a day of your time that you can dedicate to strategic thinking and scaling your business. You can bend your mind around the strategies that you're going to require to take your business systems to the next level and expand exponentially beyond what you thought before was not possible for you. Yet it is possible for you. See, I'm proof of that. As you expand, if you want to do great things, you must free your mind and hands from areas that are outside of your core strengths, and you should only be focusing on doing tasks you're simply gifted at and you love doing. Building a team around your strengths to do the things that you have no desire for and that they're more competent in, but those things are also required to be done well to do something great. When I hired my first assistant, it was in early 2011. It freed up several hours a day to focus on money-making activities like talking to prospects and selling via webinars and strategic thinking to take my business to the next level. It freed up literally, actually at that time it was probably 4 to 6 hours a day. What I did with those hours, I utilized those hours to multiply my income from, at the time it was around $30,000 a month, and I got it to over $100,000 a month within 6 months. And then I launched Empower Network in late 2011, which has now done over $200 million in sales. But it was actually that assistant, who's one of my best friends in the whole world, Chris, and he's not my assistant anymore, he's an entrepreneur. But it was him taking on those tasks, allowing me to free my mind and lift it above the tasks that I didn't need to do, that allowed myself to get into that creative and resourceful state to come up with those ideas. See if you can replace yourself every time you can, and also replace yourself when you want. You can focus your mind where your mind is unique in the world. And this is what I found in working with hundreds of thousands of people. I found that everyone's gifted and everyone's talented and unique in some way and important. And guess who that includes? It includes you. You're important. The fact is, these are all reasons I decided to create the Daily Shortcut. Search engine optimization, for example, writing and recording content, creating lead magnets to build my list, writing emails, sending emails, creating messages for social media. I used to do all this myself and was limited by my own capacity personally of time, resources, and energy in my personal ability with my own hands to maintain and produce that. And what I decided to do is change things. I want to almost completely turn this problem around for you by partnering with us. You can allow the Daily Shortcut to handle a lot of the mechanical work that you simply can tune into and follow a simple daily checklist, growing and earning more at whatever you want to do at the same time as you're learning and compounding the ability that you have to produce wealth in your mind. My team and I produce your content that you can actually build content around. We actually create free PDF downloads for you, and we build the sales funnel and the process that's built into that, and even follow up with you, helping you generate the leads and actually keep them in your system. And we even have full-time copywriters writing your email copy and also your social media copy. And what do you actually need to do? It reduces your time and compresses it to where you simply follow a simple daily step-by-step plan that we release every day at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, along with the show, right in the members area of Empower Network. Problem solved, because all of a sudden you're cutting your time from 10 or 15 hours in the day down to like 1 hour, and then you have more time and creative ability to build systems around what we're doing and exponentially expand your ability to generate income. Does that make sense to you? Number 3 thing that people encounter, and this is actually something, hey, look guys, anytime I'm pointing, I've got like actually not just these fingers, but fingers all down my arm pointing back at me, because this is actually what I've done. What's this next thing? Hiding from problems and not staring them in the face. See, as you're growing a business or just in life, problems are going to happen. When multiple problems hit you at one time, or when some problem is really intense, it's a kind of natural protective instinct to ignore them, to try to, shield yourself from the pain, right? You'll say, oh, I'll deal with it later, which really, what's that? It's an avoidance problem. You don't want to face the reality of what's in front of you, and you don't want to look the problem in the face and say, hey, I'm here to break through. Yet you actually have the power to change that reality by confronting it and embracing it, just as a child embraces learning to walk, learning to talk, learning to think. Overcoming physical pain, constant frustration, constant falling down, constantly bruising your head, with a simple vision and excitement and passion of walking like all the people that a child sees around him. See, the thing about problems is that problems unsolved are like time bombs. What that means is the longer you wait to deal with them, the more they have the potential to compound, just like good things compound, and create a momentum of explosions that can break down even the most intricate systems and the most intricate architecture of business that may have taken years to create. If you ignore problems when they're small, they compound when they're big. I've talked about that when I've talked about finances, because the same problem people run with finances, this is an example, is that they say, oh, I'm spending all my money now because I'm only making $2,000 a month. And when I'm making $10,000 a month, I won't spend all my money. But what happens is, if they do that at $2,000 a month, they do it 100% of the time when they're at $10,000 a month. And then they do it at $20,000 a month, and I've seen people do that at $500,000 a month. Solve it now at $2,000, right? Live beneath your means, and then when your income compounds, that success pattern will compound and you'll be saving even more money. See, hiding from the actual reality is generally, it's the worst thing that you can do. Instead, you want to deal with things head on. You want to face the problems. You want to be courageous. You want to be visionary. You want to be a lion growling in the face of your problems. Number 4, this is a problem that is something that is probably one of the most important things to learn. And that's keeping people around, keeping good people around. For example, in the network marketing industry like what I'm in, one of the hardest things to do is keep people around and build strong, deep teams that remain through the ages of time, problems, and the things in life, the business opportunities that launch that sometimes get in the way of people focusing on a single task. Making sales, duplicating, that actually is an easy thing to do once you learn how to do it. But retention and culture that builds people, this is one of the most complex things to learn how to do, and also the most important. But one thing I'm going to tell you before I continue is that the key to keeping people around is actually loving people with no agenda. See, first, you're going to go through a period that I call the grind when you're building a business, where you're like a monkey with a machine gun firing everywhere, running around, firing everything that you see in your path, doing whatever that you have to do to make sales, get leads, and do presentations, maybe talking to people on the phone, and otherwise aiming your mind and body as a ballistic commission-getting missile of success. And you need to do that. Those are just a few of the typical grind activities that you might actually find yourself doing as you begin to succeed in your business. However, after the grind gets done, the next phase comes into play, the team building phase, where you actually have to learn to keep people around through creating success around you, creating culture, and creating business systems that expand and multiply your efforts. The trick to making lots of money is actually to develop a culture that's going to keep people around, and systems that will create duplication and leadership in the people around you. And also systems and infrastructure and a reward system that rewards people for being around and makes them feel good about being around you, which again, the first requirement to that is actually liking people and treating them well with no agenda. You can actually do this in a few ways once you like people, and some work better than other ways. For example, if you're really consistent with some kind of personal development, like you go through the daily shortcut and you get your team to go through it, and you pay attention every day to these concepts and you apply them in your life and your business as you discover new things that are happening around you, you could actually get your team and you could get your prospects in the habit of attending each daily show. And as they do that, your team's actually going to grow. And as the team grows personally, their income is also going to grow, and it's going to follow with their personal growth. See, the idea is actually to keep people engaged and keep them motivated while simultaneously rewarding them for actually staying around for a long time, and rewarding them in different ways than they're used to being rewarded. Their whole life will become better as they pay attention to every episode of the show. Problem is solved, right? And that brings us to the 5th problem, which is actually understanding how to move through different phases in your business. And every time you get over one, there's another phase to go through. And I'm actually going to cut this last one short, as it deserves an entire daily shortcut episode all on its own. It actually deserves a lot more than that. And because of that, we've decided to dedicate episode number 41 to this very series of ideas. This business, the business of building wealth online, has a lot of phases to it. The business of network marketing has a lot of phases that you're going to go through, starting with that grind. Look out for an in-depth explanation of this success navigation concept in a later episode of the Daily Shortcut. So tell me in the comments, are you experiencing real entrepreneur problems, or are you generating problems you're imagining in your mind? Let me know in the comments. I want you to let me know what you actually had a breakthrough on. I want to know specifically what your biggest learning was, your aha moment today. The best comment of the day wins our Daily Shortcut comment contest, so be detailed and thoughtful in your comment and really tell us about the internal transformation that you had today, acknowledging what's actually existing in your life, and how carrying through a change that you've had today will actually change your life, your future, and change your financial destiny. I actually want to help you create a better business while improving and developing yourself by applying these principles. So to do that, I've prepared 3 powerful bonus shortcuts to help you attract wealth faster while reinforcing the concepts that you learned in today's episode and replacing your unconscious systems with newer, faster, and more powerful ones that get you even better results than you've been getting, if you could imagine that. In your first daily shortcut today, you're going to get a free PDF workbook. I'm going to actually encourage you, if you have a printer, to print that off, and that's going to help you identify and overcome the problems that you have, even if they're not real problems, if they're just based in fear, false evidence appearing real, and if they simply exist in your mind, you still can overcome them. Just like with the spoon in the Matrix, you can simply bend your problems out of the way in the same fashion that you're co-creating them by changing the way you're operating the world in your imagination first. You're also going to get a transcription of today's episode so you can read it and you can actually internalize these ideas inside your mind as you're grasping these concepts automatically and unconsciously on autopilot as you simply are deciding to become richer and more wealthy and more productive with each passing day. In your second daily shortcut, you're going to get a free audio download of today's content so you can listen again and again, and you can implant these ideas deep into your unconscious mind, deep into your soul. Audio is a powerful tool for your subconscious because you can listen in your downtime, and if you make the commitment that you're going to pay attention to this daily, 5 days a week, you're going to begin to transform automatically, and that is my real gift to you today and every day, is your transformation and your breakthroughs. In your third and your most important daily shortcut, I'm going to give you my entire business system. This has taken me 5 years, tens of millions of dollars to build, and it keeps getting better each day as I'm building and reporting these successes in each daily shortcut. This, if you think about this, what you're actually getting in these episodes is you're actually getting the development of what we're building, uncovering my learnings, I'm passing those on to you, and I'm doing these things at a mechanical scale that's way bigger than what most people do. See, what the total shortcut system actually is this business system, and you can actually get access to the entire thing today if you're brand new for only $7 if you simply choose, or you could simply choose to just take your free gifts. And you could begin growing with us, experiencing a total life transformation in a faster and more powerful way. As you're watching these daily episodes, you can actually earn money and create simultaneous lifestyle. If you want to take action right now as you're downloading your free bonuses, you can build with us and you can build this system with us simply by filling in your name and best email. Then click the button that says give me the total shortcut and you'll be immediately taken to download your 3 powerful bonuses and also applying this transformation in your own personal life and having a massive breakthrough at the same time. I hope you got a lot of value out of today's episode, and I want to encourage you to continue daily paying attention to this as you realize that you are indeed the center of your own universe, and therefore also have the ability to change the things around you by just doing things in a newer and more powerful way. Right now, leave a comment and then put in your name, put in your email, and grab your 3 powerful bonuses because you, my friend, are an awesome human being, and I'll see you in the next episode.